Wrote them many years ago. Actually done any new material lately. Daily going gets in the way. But, this first one is about just a couple of guys, students like many of you not. Names of Jim and Steve. I've actually written quite a few about these two and their adventures, shall we say. So, this one's called On the Pool. Off to a good start already, yeah? Jim was running down Mason Avenue full tilt. Glancing behind him, he saw Steve's goons were gaining on him. Time to panic, thought Jim, as he rounded a corner into an alleyway. Ah, shit, he said to himself. How bloody cliched is this? It's a sodding dead end. The big burly goons rounded on Jim. So, how is Steve? Jim said. Remind me again, what is it I'm supposed to have done? You murdered Steve's goldfish! And you know how much he loves his goldfish, said the largest of the goons in a deep and menacing voice. Oh yes, that. Say goodbye. Right, Jim knew. And with that, everything went black. Jim woke up back home in his bed, not entirely sure whether he was dreaming or not. But hang on, he thought. In his dream, Steve was a very powerful, slightly comic mafia boss. He's far from that, he's a student who does as little work as possible. Of course, now he thought about it, so was Jim. They were due to meet later for a drink or four down at Whitehall. Steve pointed out that they both had a distinct lack of women in their life. So that was the ultimate objective of the evening, to get a girlfriend, or at the very least, very close approximation. So the evening swung by fairly quickly, and Steve and Jim were sitting in the pub at the Queen's Nose with a pint each. Jim, piped Steve. Yes. I have a cunning plan. Oh God. Why does that sound even more ominous when you say it than when Baldrick does? What's your plan? Jim had a look of distant dread on his face as Steve removed from his bag a newspaper. A newspaper. That's your big plan. No, not the paper itself, the crossword. Steve had a look of glee in his eyes. Jim just sat there, looking confused. No, still don't get it. Steve sighed with exasperation. Look, girls like clever dudes, right? Yeah, Jim nods. So, Steve continues, if we're seen doing a crossword, I think we're clever. Right? Oh, I see, exclaimed Jim. Okay. Give it here. Let's have a look. Steve passed the newspaper over the table to Jim. I like this one. Not a way to get ahead in life. 8 letters. They had to do that cryptic one, didn't they? Steve looked deep in thought for several minutes, his eyebrows flickering quizzically, until suddenly his face lit up in delight. I've got it! Decapitation. Steve? 8 letters. Right. D-E-C-A-P-I-T. I reckon somewhere you've missed the point, haven't you, Steve? I bet the answer's Congress. You know, opposite of progress. Anyway, we're out here on the pool, but not really getting anywhere. See anyone you fancy? Steve looked up. How about her? He suggested. Alright, go for it then. So with that, Steve sidled up to the bar, where a blonde girl was standing talking to her friends. Within 5 minutes though, he returned, tail well and truly between his legs, and with a black-eyed boot. Bloody hell, Steve, what happened? Jim exclaimed. Oh, yeah. I was a man. Jim burst out laughing and pointed to the most beautiful of blonde girls, who, by the way, was clearly female, leaning against the bar. I thought you meant her! You total idiot, too. Watch this. Just see how the master does it. So off Jim went, walking confidently over to the bar. And from Steve's viewpoint, cunningly hidden behind his crossword, of course, we saw Jim began to flirt. And it looked like he was doing all right, a bit of conversation, when there was a loud crack as Jim was slapped by the blonde. And Jim returned to their table and just sat down, quite nonchalantly started sipping back at his pint. Nothing wrong, nothing untoward. Steve just sat looking at Jim expectantly. So, what? Oh, right, yeah. Lesbian. They sat there staring into their pints a bit. This is ridiculous, Jim said after a while. Are we both so incompetent that we can't even choose a girl who's available? Or in your case, female. We're going for girls way out of our league. There's a brunette over there, by the pillar. I reckon she's about what? 5 out of 10 looks wise. You might get lucky with that one. Give it a shot. Yeah, this is a woman. Steve left again and proceeded over to the lady. Congratulations, he exclaimed. You've been voted most beautiful girl in the room, and the grand prize is a night with me. Steve woke up in the ambulance. Bloody hell, Steve, what did you say to her? Huh? What happened? My head hurts. Don't worry, you're in an ambulance. We'll take you to the hospital to get you checked out. Steve promptly passed out again. Later, Steve had been discharged with a large bandage wrapped around his head, and the pair of them were walking back through town. And by this time, the whole town was deserted, apart from the odd rowdy group of individuals and drunk couples trudging home. Presently, they came past the late-night kebab shop, Zeffirelli's. Fancy a kebab, Jim slurred. My head hurts. Come on, let's get some food inside you. They staggered into Zeffirelli's. Alright, mate. 2 chip kebabs and 2 medium portions of chicken, please. No, wait, that's not right. 2 medium portions of kebabs and 2 chicken chips. No, hang on, I'll get this. No. Don't worry about it, the man behind the counter said. I get drunkards like you here all the time, I'll learn the lingo. That's 2 chicken kebabs and 2 medium portions of chips, $4.95 in total. Whee! See, that dude knows what he's talking about. Jim handed over the money, and the drunken pair left Zeffirelli's in high spirits. Much later, Jim and Steve had finally arrived home and were sitting on the garden wall outside the block of flats where they both lived. Jim, Steve asked. Yes. What does it all mean? What? All this? He gestured wildly with his arms. All this? Life, universe, and everything. Bit like sardines, I guess. Huh? You're right, Jim. Hey? Well, Jim elaborated. Everyone says how great sardines are, right? They're really good for you and taste good, etc. Great. Well, when you actually eat the sardines, they're not as good as everyone makes out. A bit of an anticlimax. Hey, anticlimax, big word, the drunken Jim, said Steve, giggling. He composed himself. But seriously, you mean when you die, you get to heaven and realise life isn't all it's cracked up to be? No, Steve. You're born and you subconsciously decide very quickly that you're not buying this life business and then spend the rest of your life trying to die. And with that, they went into the building, exchanged pleasantries and assured each other that next time they go out on the pool, it wouldn't be quite such a disastrous failure, whilst also acknowledging that, in fact, chances of it being a success were fairly slim anyhow.